Oh yeah, we about to talk about some Chinese women. Let's get to this first video. Shout out to Chisha Zed, and this video he's talking about China's new divorce law. It is based. Let's get to it.
So China has officially passed a law that will essentially state the following. As a man who is in the midst of divorce, you will no longer be forced to give up half of your belongings, net worth, etc.
Y'all hear that? You will not be forced to give up half of all the shit you worked for to a bitch who divorces you in China.
That's right, folks. If your wifey wants to leave you because she's no longer happy, right? She has outgrown the relationship.
Right.
She can also outgrow your assets. That's how that's going to work from here on out.
Right.
Now, I'm a believer that, if a man is trifling as hell, if he's abusive, if he's laying up with any old body, that you deserve to have a little something with you. But it turns out that a majority of divorces that take place within the Western world are not founded on any of those things. And around 70% of these divorces are initiated by the wife.
A wife who's a little bored, she's curious, she wants to go back to that CC. Y'all feel me?
So imagine where divorce rates would go if all of a sudden there was no financial benefit of leaving that man. And that goes for y'all too, ladies. If you've got the bag, you keep the bag. Simple.
China has the highest number of single women in the world. It also has one of the highest divorce rates globally. In most cases, divorces are initiated by women. Nowhere else do women look down on men as much as in China.
Really? Wow, that's like perplexing to me. Wow, I thought the divorce queens, the welfare queens all lived in the USA. The women who were giving the whole world on a goddamn butter biscuit. What they want to do? They want to run and marry a man, get that bag, and then when they get bored and they need a little bit of tingling sensation in them drawers, what do? Back to the carousel they go.
Nowhere else do women demand such high bride prices. Nowhere else do so many women abandon their husbands and children. Nowhere else do so many divorced women seek welfare partners. And most of them don't succeed. What's the reason behind this, friends? There's only one reason. Chinese women have been consuming too much toxic positivity advice. They've been told that men should earn money while women should focus on looking beautiful. That men struggle to find wives, but women never have trouble finding husbands. This so-called wisdom has left women dazed, confused and disoriented. Completely lost and disoriented. This elderly man's remarks may be extreme, but real-life cases do support some of his views.
You know what? They mentioned that they've been consuming too much toxic information, whatever. They're getting their information from the Western women in the USA. I'm living over here right now in Taiwan, y'all. The country that is right below China. And guess what? Many Taiwanese peoples, they have ancestry, they have family members who remained in mainland China. What I'm saying is that there is a cultural connection between China and Taiwan. And the family values that used to exist in China, they are existing here right now. The mentality here is that families should stay together. They're supposed to battle through thick and thin, and wives are not supposed to divorce their husbands over some selfishness, some entitlement. They're supposed to live together as one tribe. And the same thing can be said about the Philippines as well. Asian families have a stronger cohesive bond that is supposed to remain intact. Let's go.
In January 2025, an online court trial video sparked widespread controversy across the Chinese internet.
As a father, you've never called your child, never cared about her life, never taken responsibility for their education. You haven't even made a single phone call in a year. You've deprived my child of a father's love. You've taken no responsibility for this family, not even a cent as a father. You've never cared about your child's life or education.
He sounds like a deadbeat
In the
father, right?
7.5-minute courtroom video, nearly 7 minutes were filled with the plaintiff, Yan Dongping, voicing her accusations. To any observer, she appeared to be a deeply wounded wife, an abandoned mother, while her husband was seemingly an irresponsible man. But a single statement from her husband, Sheng Zhubao, shattered the entire performance. I was working in Beijing. I gave you all my money without keeping a single cent for myself. Finally, the judge delivered the verdict. The couple's joint property, a car, is awarded to the plaintiff, Yan Dongping. At that moment, before the camera was turned off, Yan Dongping turned her head and smiled.
Wow.
Ooh, they caught her.
A smile filled with an indescribable sense of sweetness and triumph. To many viewers, it felt as if she was looking at someone she truly loved. This scene deeply wounded her weary and honest husband, who quietly wiped away the tears at the corner of his eyes. This scene didn't just wound her husband, it struck a nerve with every viewer watching. And so, what people jokingly called the first world-famous painting of 2025, Yan Dongping's smile, was born, ultimately making her the target of online outrage.
Wow.
As the controversy grew, the truth began to surface. When the couple first went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to finalize their divorce, they were required to undergo a 1-month cooling-off period, a policy introduced under China's 2021 marriage law intended to promote marital stability.
Right.
But in Miss Yan's case, that month became the perfect opportunity for her to execute a carefully planned strategy. Under the pretense of achieving financial independence through an online store, she escalated her demands, stripping the father of visitation rights and even insisting that their daughter change her surname, severing all ties between them. People quickly...
Scandalous, right? Wow, scandalous. And y'all still thinking of getting with a Chinese chick, a Chinese woman? Y'all hearing her right here. Chinese women ain't no better than these Western women out here.
Quickly exposed the so-called financial independence as nothing more than a sham. Miss Yan's online store was merely a business license on paper, with little to no actual revenue.
This is an evil, insidious ex-wife who reminds me of some of our black queens in the hood who say that they have these businesses, right? But really they have nothing but a box on the corner somewhere, or they're selling things out of the trunk of their cars, right? I ain't knocking hustle. What I'm saying is that seems like those who purport to have businesses is nothing but a scam.
The family's middle-class lifestyle, owning a home and a car in a third or fourth-tier city, was entirely built on years of her husband's hard-earned wages from working in the big city.
Wow.
This divorce case ignited a firestorm online, striking at a painful reality in China's urbanization process. Millions of left-behind families follow the same survival model, husbands working in distant cities while wives stay behind to raise children. In truth, this phenomenon stems from deeper systemic issues, including the household registration system and unequal distribution of educational resources. For many migrant workers in similar situations, the Yan case served as a wake-up call, highlighting the risks they too might one day face. The most troubling part is that the betrayer pays no price. In recent years, with the economic fallout from the pandemic, many men lost their jobs or suffered business failures. In almost every case, it was the women who quickly filed for divorce, often walking away with whatever little assets remained.
Isn't that the same play that our Western women do in the USA? If you're thinking of getting married to an Asian woman who is from an Asian country, right, with an Asian culture embedded in her psychology, okay, maybe you want to think twice about China. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but hearing that, man, you should have caution. You should pause.
For many men, marriage has reduced them to mere providers, financial tools discarded with no fair outcome. This has fueled growing anxiety among young men about marriage. Statistics show that over 40% of men born in the 90s and 2000s now express a fear of marriage. Cases like Yan's only deepen this fear, and she is far from an isolated example. People have responded with bitter laughter, saying that with a single smile, Yan has pushed China's record low marriage rate even lower. No one knows exactly who that smile was meant for, but one thing is clear. It has left many men terrified. Terrified of walking away from a marriage with nothing. Terrified that one day their own wives might flash a Yan-style smile. Scrolling through social media, it's easy to find boastful statements like, I can drive, I can earn money, I can cook, so why do I need a man?
Come on,
This
guys.
certainly reflects women's independence.
Are they sure they're not in the U.S.?
But the way it's framed is a classic example of toxic positivity rhetoric, one that exposes the distorted gender perceptions shaped by the CCP state system. While official media promotes gender equality on the surface, it simultaneously allows various independent social media platforms to spread extreme feminist narratives. This false notion of women's liberation is, in reality, a betrayal of genuine gender equality. Is finding
Yes, it
a
is.
partner only about having someone who can cook, earn money, and drive? Relationships are built on emotional connection, mutual understanding, and growing together. Things that shouldn't be overlooked. True independence should empower people to choose meaningful relationships rather than dismissing the value of companionship.
It's like, I'm telling y'all, it's like these Chinese women are using the same playbook that our Western women have been using against men in the USA for decades now. Y'all choose wisely if I want a Chinese broad.
Are material possessions like luxury homes and cars the ultimate measure of success? Placing too much emphasis on material wealth may reflect a mindset that prioritizes external achievements over deeper fulfillment in life.
Right.
Most importantly, equating not needing a man with independence shifts away from the true meaning of gender equality and
Wow.
can even disrupt social harmony. This mindset is, in reality, extreme individualism and outright materialism disguised as progress. It can be seen as a toxic version of the independent woman ideal, one that has contributed to cases like Jan's. Another form of toxic positivity rhetoric is the princess syndrome narrative, often expressed as women should be beautiful and men should be the providers. This idea is misleadingly packaged as traditional virtue and widely promoted on social media. As a result, many single women possessively wait for a dominant CEO-type partner to appear, quite popular in romanticized Chinese dramas.
It's like these Chinese women have adopted the toxic mentalities, personalities, the traits that Western women have been living by for the past, 6 decades? It's crazy, y'all. These Chinese women, they're not too much different than what we are dealing with, or what I was dealing with back in the States.
There should be plenty of wealthy CEOs fighting over me. Look at me. I was born naturally beautiful and I just don't get it. Someone as pretty as me. Why have I waited 36 years and not a single CEO has shown up?
Some once stable families have also been torn apart by these unrealistic fantasies of happiness. Miss Hu Peipei is a typical case. Her husband earned 10,000 yuan a month, enough for a comfortable life, but she became consumed by online toxic positivity narratives.
Oh, shoot.
Women should be princesses, deserve the best cosmetics and designer bags, and must have a handsome, wealthy CEO picking them up in a luxury car every day. She began to resent her current lifestyle.
I don't want to live in that rundown house anymore. I want to be like my friends, living in a nice apartment.
Looks like Mrs. Hu Pei Pei is going to be wondering who's going to pay her bills in a little bit.
I want to be stylish, sophisticated
Pei
girl.
Pei.
I have high standards for myself, and I'm very picky.
With her husband, she became increasingly aggressive.
If the makeup I wear, the clothes on my back, and everything I eat and use don't come from you, then you're a complete failure as a man.
Wow.
Even during mediation,
You talk about
her husband was still
emasculization, there it
thinking
is.
about her well-being. I sought mediation because I want you to have a good life. But she responded coldly, "You're not my parents. I don't need you worrying about my marriage." In the end, Zhang Liwei could only sigh in resignation and say, "Marriage is supposed to be about sharing responsibilities equally, right? But everything that should have been shared between us, I ended up shouldering it alone. And I spoiled her into having princess syndrome." This story ultimately ended in tragedy. When the wealthy CEO Jiang Dong appeared, Hu Peipei believed she had finally found the ideal life she had seen glorified online. Eager to escape what she saw as an ordinary marriage, she left without hesitation.
Dang.
But reality hit hard.
Dang.
Jiang Dong soon revealed his true colors, toying with her feelings before heartlessly abandoning her. Filled with regret, Hu Peipei returned to the home she once despised, hoping to reclaim her ordinary life.
Hu Peipei.
But by then, Zhang Liwei had already given up on her. Today, Chinese social media and self-media
Hu Pei Pei needs to go get a job.
loudly promote female independence while simultaneously portraying marrying into wealth as life's ultimate success. Yet those who follow these narratives often find themselves facing harsh realities,
Right.
as one veteran journalist bluntly exposed.
有的成功人士，有的富二代，他一年可以换一个女朋友。
Some wealthy elites, some second-generation rich guys change girlfriends every month. Many even date multiple women at the same time. The more attractive ones might get to stay around for a few extra days, but don't even talk about women's rights in front of them. You won't even have basic human rights because when they've had their fun and tell you to leave, you have no choice but to go.
Poor vetting skills. It seems like the Chinese women, they're running the dating market too over there in China, right? What do y'all think? Drop a comment in the comment section. No man wants to stick around for a nagging, entitled woman who's going to emasculate him after he's been working all day to give her that princess lifestyle.
In a campus interview, a female student confidently said,
Dating doesn't come for free, right?
A sharp-witted respondent immediately pointed out the issue.
你为什么会用到免费这个词儿呢？
Why are you using the word free? Let me ask you, what kind of things in this world actually require payment? Products? What exactly are you considering yourself to be?
Prostitution.
The most deceptive toxic positivity narrative is the one about life after divorce.
Maybe.
A matchmaker in Shenzhen put it bluntly.
网上一直流传个毒鸡汤。
There's this toxic positivity myth spreading online. Divorced women are in high demand. Single mums from a second marriage are sought after. I've been a matchmaker for a long time, and I can tell you the truth. In the real Shenzhen dating market, if you're divorced and have a son, no matter how beautiful you are, the moment men hear that, they don't even want to meet you.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Why? Because men today aren't willing to raise someone else's child anymore, especially if it's a boy.
Men don't want to be a stepfather. Period. It's the same shit men are dealing with in the USA.
Men nowadays aren't that naive.
Some independent social media platforms have even fabricated the myth of high-quality men's clubs to mislead their audience.
离过婚的女人只能嫁给那些高质量的男人。
Divorced women can only marry high-quality men. They should never settle for ordinary men because ordinary men care too much about whether you've been married before or if you've had children. Your past matters to them. But in our club, elite men earning 5 to 6 million yuan a year don't mind if a woman has been divorced.
I'm telling y'all, it's like the same shit that we're going through in the Western world, in the Western countries, right? But it's like intensified by like 2 billion in China. It's like Chinese people smoking crack. I mean, what's going on here, man? What's going on here?
To them, marriage isn't just about having kids or physical attraction. Marriage is about fulfilling dreams.
In response, a commentator angrily refuted.
几个菜把你喝成这样了，还你们俱乐部？
How much did you drink to be talking this nonsense? There is no such club. Be sure you can treat yourself like a fool tossing
They've been smoking something, they've been drinking something. Something is off in that thinking up there, y'all. Chinese women, think twice.
coins into a wishing well, thinking you'll get whatever you want. And let me ask, are there actually any big shots here making 5 or 6 million a year? Step up and comment. Is what this person is saying even true? These toxic positivity narratives are seriously distorting society's views on love and marriage. Take the widely circulated 101 things a man should do for a woman as an example. It sets unrealistic standards for love, defining actions like buying late-night snacks at 3 a.m. and traveling to various destinations as measures of devotion. As a result, many otherwise stable relationships have fallen apart simply because they couldn't meet these exaggerated expectations.
Wow.
Misleading ideas such as only foolish women wait for a man to mature and older men are better than struggling young men further warp young people's values. Why has toxic positivity become so widespread? A veteran journalist analyzed.
Everyone knows that toxic positivity is harmful, but many women just love listening to it. Let me break it down for you. First, toxic positivity usually contains a bit of truth. If it were complete nonsense, no one would listen. For example, it's true that women face challenges when they leave their family homes, they enter a new family, take care of their in-laws, raise children, endure their husband's temper, and basically become servants, and so on and so on. When women hear this, they feel overwhelmed. They think, this is so true, and they immediately hit follow for that influencer. But in reality, these narratives exist just to attract more women. Who doesn't know that women are the biggest spenders?
Yep.
According to the 2024 Social Media and Youth Values Survey report released by a sociology research institute, 76.3% of women aged 18 to 35 consume toxic positivity content daily. Among them, 45.2% admitted that such content influenced their expectations of love and marriage, while 28.7% acknowledged having unrealistic fantasies as a result. Statistics from the Civil Affairs Department show that in the first quarter of 2024, the divorce rate among people under 30 increased by 15.6% year over year. Of these divorces, 42.3% were attributed to irreconcilable values.
A smart woman wouldn't use online standards to judge her own husband because she understands that he has his own struggles too.
Right.
Got
A
some
good
wisdom
marriage
there. You
takes
got some
effort
wisdom.
from both partners.
Some wisdom.
It's about working together. Listen to me. Don't be misled by toxic positivity.
And again, shout out to Chisha Zed for this content, y'all. Because I am traveling the world and I'm living in Asia right now, I know many people who have become married to Asian wives, okay? Pointedly, some men have married women from China, okay? Now, if I don't know, I married me a Filipino, okay? And I'm going to say this. I am content and happy that I chose the Filipino for marriage. And I will never go back to one of these Chinese bras. And it sounds like the Chinese bras have been drinking the same poison that the Western women have been drinking in the USA for the past 6 decades, y'all. So listen, again, shout out to Chisha Zed. Y'all find the link to this video in the description section. Y'all check him out. Before I leave this video, hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and share. CAC, I'm out, baby.